I decided to start a TV show that reconnected people to real food in real environments. Understanding where your food comes from is extremely important to your health and your lifestyle and everything. You know, humans really missing this. What you're showing us is what is missing from society. These rich guys had everything a man could ask for except for the feeling of being a man.
Welcome to the Hard Way podcast with Joe Sena, founder and CEO of Spartan Races. We're teaching you how to overcome your obstacles in your life the same way we teach our 10 million plus Spartans to overcome obstacles on the course. With insight from the smartest, most accomplished experts from every corner of the world. Get ready to elevate your life today.
Joe Sena, CEO and founder of Spartan and host of the Hard Way podcast. I've got my buddy Mario Kalpou. He is the host of a show, Man Eats Wild. What the hell is that? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so you know what I realized a long time ago, Joe, that people are lazy and they don't really want to know the truth about a lot of stuff, and they'd rather just be fed a bunch of lies and be happy with that. Well, that wasn't good enough for me, so I decided to start a TV show that reconnected people to real food in real environments. Understanding where your food comes from is extremely important to your health and your lifestyle and everything. You know, we fuel our bodies with food 3 to 4 times a day. It is by far the most important thing that you're putting in your body, and some may even argue that it's medicine. I basically go out into the wild and I catch fish, hunt, forage, whatever it is, food, and I teach people how to do it. I also teach them how to survive in harsh environments and really just reconnect them to the source of their food by getting people outside and active.
I love it. And that was a little reminder from your computer that it was time to eat.
Yeah, that's right. Eat good food.
A little bit like Bear Grylls, my buddy there.
It very much like Bear Grylls, except I don't drink my own urine, man. I keep it clean. I actually used to be a chef and a restaurateur, so I try to make things taste good. That's my rule of thumb.
You're in Florida now, so you go out, you hunt alligator?
I've shot a lot of alligators, killed a lot of big crocodiles. I love the way they taste. They're good eating, a good source of protein. They're hard to kill, but you got to be careful because you could end up being dinner instead of them if you don't do it right.
How do you serve up an alligator?
Well, the tail is the best part of it. That's got the most amount of meat. You do have to be careful. If you eat a crocodile or alligator liver, it can actually kill you. Very poisonous. Like in Africa, I shot a huge one, an 18-footer, and we were forced to actually, get rid of the liver because people grind it up and dry it out, and you sprinkle a tiny bit of that in someone's drink, and it's game over. So that's one thing you can't eat when it comes to crocodile. But apart from that, the animal's a really good source of protein.
So why do people sprinkle some of that liver in there when you're looking to kill somebody?
Yeah, that's it,
that's
man.
It.
You want to knock someone off. The villagers do it there because they're all like, having affairs with each other's wives and all this stuff goes on, and then they get angry and, they don't have access to the kind of nasty stuff we do, like actual chemicals or guns. So that's what they do, man. They invite these guys around for dinner, a bit of a special crocodile powder, and you're finished.
So what is it about liver? It's funny. Let's talk about liver for a second, because there's a lot of promotion out there that liver from other animals provides incredible nutrients. It's incredibly nutrient dense. So talk to me about liver.
Look, I'm not a professor, so I can't tell you the ins and outs of what actual vitamins, but I do know one thing. I'm a naturalist, right? I look at nature, how it performs, how it's efficient. I think humans think they're a little bit smarter than what they are. You can't really beat billions of years of evolution. That's real intelligence, and it happens by itself. When you look at an animal, when it makes a kill, the first thing they eat are the insides, because they hold the highest amount of nutrition for the least amount of actual meat. Liver is super high in nutrition. We all know that for a fact. So is brain and even all the offal or the inside. So I can see why it's become a big phase and fad. But the truth of the matter is, the animal kingdom has been eating these things for millions of years.
Yeah, we're a little delicate, I guess. We've grown delicate over the last couple of 100 years.
Extremely delicate. I'd use another word, but probably not.
No, no, I got you. I got you loud and clear. So, do you do this for people? You take people out hunting? Tell me, how do you make this work?
Yeah, so I used to when I left Australia, I moved to New Zealand, and I used to take really high net worth individuals on crazy adventures. Throw them out of helicopters, throw them out of airplanes, get them diving with sharks, teaching them how to harvest their own food because that was the missing link in their life. These rich guys had everything a man could ask for, except for the feeling of being a man. Right. So I gave that to these people, and I did hundreds and maybe thousands of adventures like that. One day I was in the States and I sort of got hit up by a network executive, and he said, dude, humans, especially men, but just humans in general, really missing this what you're showing us is what is missing from society, and we think that you could make a television show about it. So I just sort of left it at that, and then a year later it was all happening. They just wrote me a big check and off we went.
I love it. I love it. We got to get you up to the death race that happens every year on our farm in Vermont. We even take kids up for 2 weeks before death race, and they do death camp. So you could really give back with the kids and teach. Might not be able to kill a bear, but because it won't be hunting season, but you take out a couple of rabbits or something, we'll figure it out.
Well, and teach them how to start a fire, teach you how to get shelter, teach them how to keep warm. Like there's a lot of things that humans have lost touch in, and surviving is definitely one of them. And I actually think all children should be taught basic survival skills as a part of a curriculum in school or in some way. Like, it's like literally probably the most important thing is to know how to survive. And, one day, we might be in a situation where we need it. So I'd rather have the skills and not need it than not have the skills and need it.
You know what we should do? You just gave me an idea. Why don't we, because you're in Florida now, yes?
Yeah. I live in South Florida, yeah.
We've got Spartan races all over the world, and we've got some in Florida coming up. There'll be about 1,000 kids there. Let's tell the 1,000 kids that Man Eats Wild is coming out, and you could teach them. Or we make a big campfire of 1,000 kids in a circle.
Hey man, torturing kids is no problem. they need a bit of hardship.
So full time, you're doing the TV show now. You're playing a badass on TV.
I'm trying my best, man. I get my ass handed to me all the time, to be honest. So nature beats man every time. But it's just people love seeing people struggle. We're lucky enough as humans to have technology and this thing up here, which keeps us, we have the edge. But yeah, I actually enjoy the test, man. I enjoy struggling. I enjoy earning my food and just being in that natural environment that we're genetically supposed to be in. That's what we're born to do.
Considering how people live today, all of us, including me, we're staring at devices all day. We're in climate controlled house. We've got room temperature showers. What would you suggest? Like we're not going to go out and hunt crocodiles as much as you'd like us to. What would you suggest we do?
Yeah, I think it's important to put yourself into some struggle, be uncomfortable consistently. That's really what the body needs to survive and grow strong. And it's you ask any professional that's in healthcare or in that field, and they'll tell you that that's what the body needs. So I know cold plunge is a big one these days, but that's just an example of one way to put yourself under a bit of strain. Exercise, in my opinion, is number one. That is, we have to have it. Without it, we're dormant cells that are dying. You want to keep that going. Good nutrition, obviously, I'm a massive advocate for. If you can't hunt like I do, like if you look into my freezer, I won't need to buy meat for probably 3 years. I'm like good to go. But if you can't do that, then make a little bit of effort and source some good food, man. Source some grass-fed beef, source some produce that's from organic farms. Most places in America have some kind of organic farm. What do they call them? Like a farmer's markets every weekend or whatever. I like to shop at places like that. Just general fitness, man, as well. Like, I went boxing today. I'll do weights in the afternoon. I'll go for a swim. Just get outside, get that sun. Just be as natural as you can.
It's funny, the food in America, if you're in the middle, right, and you're just buying whatever's sold to you, it's really upsetting for me. I was actually going to do a post on it on LinkedIn. I was thinking about it last night because I was just in Europe, and I don't eat bread and pizza anymore because I got a gluten intolerance. I finally figured out, whatever, 15 years ago. But I'm in Croatia. I do one of our races. I'm starving. I see a slice of pizza. I'm like, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to have that slice. Didn't bother me at all. And it's really frustrating that, whatever we're doing to our food sources here in the US in the name of, making a little extra profit is annoying, to say the least.
You're 1,000% right. I was just talking to my wife about that, man. We just came back from Europe as well. We go every year, June, July. I'm Greek, actually Spartan background. It's funny that you do the Spartan thing. I'm actually Spartan, tattoos all over me, but that's where we're from in Greece. So I was like, this is kind of fitting. But just going back to being over there, like I indulge when I'm there. I eat a bit. I have a few beers. I'm a human being as well. Like I just balance stuff out, right? That's important. But I do notice, man, that like I just feel better in Europe. I feel the food, everything is just clean, real, nutrient dense food. Even and here I come back and I start feeling like a little bit.
I stopped at a gas station in Austria, and I had a green salad. It was one of the best green salads I've ever had in my life at a gas station.
I think the problem that we've got is that these big corporations have got their hooks in, right? And if we go back to the small time farmer or the local guy or the local fisherman, that negates all that crap. I noticed did you have RFK on your podcast today?
I did. Yeah.
I love what he's like, his whole thing, he gets it, right? And I don't want to get into politics too much, but if that team gets in, I think we're going to see a big change, and that's something that I would love to see.
I mean, listen, no matter who you like, right? Because I learned my lesson last year in politics. I got killed because I mentioned something, and I just learned I'm not gonna do it again. The reality is 50% want this, 50% want that, right? So I agree with you, but I also agree that you'd be hard pressed to find anybody spewing that message in politics with a legacy name that actually has a chance to disrupt a lot of financial interest. I mean, he's going to be a friend of mine took over. You'll like this, the New York City food district for kids for the schools. It was $1.1 billion budget per year. He had very good intentions. Like you would be completely aligned with him. Went in, we're switching the bread. We're getting rid of all this white crap. We're getting rid of the soda. We're not going to do pizza. It's going to be string beans. He goes, Joe, I couldn't get anything done. Nothing. He goes, because the soda lobby is got their hooks in, and they're giving the schools $50 million a year. So soda is staying. The potato lobby has got their hooks in, so they got this. He goes, I was able to get one piece of wheat bread on the bottom of a hamburger. I couldn't even put it on top because the kids wouldn't eat it.
That is the problem, man. And I think the government has to make legislation. It's the only way, man. It's the only way, because you can't beat the money. The money's too strong.
You know what they say when I say that? But I've been saying that for years. You know what they say? My audience, half of them go crazy. Freedom, you got to have freedom. And I'm like, well, we don't let 8-year-old kids drive
or drink alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't understand. There should be some rules in place. 42-ounce Slurpees that are 1,000 calories, 2,000 calories should be 5 times more expensive or not for sale at all.
It's really simple. If you care about kids' health and the health of Americans, then you should care about it. We should be standing together, because numbers, in my opinion, don't lie. 75% of Americans have diabetes. 1 in 3 kids have got diabetes, children. That is, I mean, look at us, man. We're fat, obese.
This is a good test. People like their animals more than they like their friends, and they like themselves. I guarantee you, if you had a policy where it said, if you won't feed it to your cat or dog, then we shouldn't have it. Because nobody's feeding that whipped cream Starbucks coffee they drink to their cat or dog. No one.
You know what I think it is as well, man? I actually don't think people realize how bad this stuff is. Like, it's the education behind it. Like, people think that, I'll give it to these food companies, they're very smart at marketing this stuff, man. Like, I even get tricked sometimes. I think, I look at something, I go, organic, awesome. And then I read the back of it and I'm like, reading all the shit that's in this thing, and I'm like, There's nothing organic about this.
I was on my flight back from Europe. I was on my flight last night, and I was hungry. I was like 15 hours in. I had to stop in Frankfurt or Munich. Anyway, they hand out their little food thing. I try not to eat on the planes, but I was hungry. On the front side of this bar, this almond date bar, I was like, oh, if it's almonds and dates, I could eat it. Flip it over, turn the light on, look. There must have been 100 ingredients. 100. So I was like, and the print was so small, there's no way I could see what the hell was in it. So I said, I'm just gonna avoid it. But how did you grow up to end up as a man in the wild?
Well, it's funny you say that because my on my dad's side, we were farmers, right? So my grandpa was an immigrant. He came over to Australia during World War II, really tough life. So we grew up on the farm, and we used to harvest food, and you know how it is when you grow up on the land, you're hunting and fishing, and that's just part of your life. It's not even something we thought about. I think I shot my first rifle when I was about 5, and then we were just out and about on the land, active. So I really grew up around it, and it just became ingrained as a part of my, my upbringing. I've always been around food as well because on my mum's side they were all in hospitality, so it was really just the marriage of those two lifestyles coming together, and that gave me a very good understanding from day one as to what we're meant to be doing as far as eating and being active.
I guess it's easy if you're a kid and you grow up on a farm and you don't grow up in a supermarket, right? Shopping in the supermarket in the wrong aisles.
Yeah, and I think it's an education, man. Like honestly, I believe, and that's a message I spread, but I just think it should be spread more often. Like that message, I think it's all education, man. Because I think once you tell people, they start going, oh.
Like my mother was pushing this stuff 50 years ago. It was not cool. It was not hip. I didn't get it. My father didn't get, like, no one wanted any part of this crazy talk from my mother. So it doesn't go down easy because the whipped cream looks so damn good. The other thing I'd like to say is, and tell me how you feel about this, we don't learn how to live. We don't learn a lifestyle from anyone or anything that makes sense. What I mean by that is you learned it as a kid on a farm, right? The ancient cultures learned it from people trying to survive. Today, we learn it from a billboard and an advertisement. That's how we live. Forget about what we eat. That's how we live.
And the phone is probably the biggest one.
You know, as much as I hate social media, I do like that you're seeing RFK, Gary Brecka, you're seeing these Jordan Peterson, you're seeing these folks ooze out of your phone, hopefully, that are giving you some insights on a better way to live.
You know what? I agree with you. The bit I saw this on the Rogan show, this is really interesting. Are we seeing that stuff because you and I follow that stuff?
Maybe, yeah.
I would love to grab someone else's phone and see what comes up. You know what I mean? I think there should be, all these messages should be spread out evenly. I just worry that censorship is a real thing. And whoever's sort of pulling the strings at the top lets you see what you want to see, and then the rest of them don't. That's the thing. I think there's a lot of changes happening, in America right now, as we all know. But it'd be interesting to, I don't know. I kind of feel like that message should be spread on a almost school level.
Well, the good news is that the people I just mentioned, the people they have massive following, so that says that they are getting to somebody.
I agree, and that's awesome. I love that. This see, that is a true sign that America does have somewhat some freedom of speech still.
One thing everybody should do every single day:
exercise.
Yeah. How long?
I believe in rest as well. I know everyone's like, you got guys like Goggins that are like, every day and all that. But I think the body grows a lot during rest periods. So I train twice a day, right? That's what I do, a day, at least once. But I feel really good when I rest too. So I'm going to say, I think a minimum of 45 minutes a day. And I think you should train at least 4 days a week. That's a baseline.
Yeah. I'm an everyday guy. I subscribe to this idea when people talk about rest and relaxation. I say, well, I can't imagine we had much rest and relaxation when we were like trying to find food. What are we resting from? We're resting from some rest and some TV and some couches. And the fuck are we resting from?
I love it. You're definitely not resting when a lion's chasing you or something like that. What kind of training do you do, man? What's your big thing?
I get on a kick and I stick to it typically for 3 years at a clip. And for 40 years I've been doing that. I had a 3-year stint where I carried a kettlebell everywhere, a 42-pound kettlebell everywhere. I had a 3-year stint where I did 300 burpees every morning religiously. I'm on a Murph kick right now. A friend of mine here,
Yeah.
he was on a Murph kick during the pandemic, and I got jealous. So then I got on this Murph kick. I did the Airdyne bike, 300 calories a day, every day.
What's the Murphy again? I know it's a military exercise dedicated to a soldier named Murphy.
Yeah, so it's a mile run. It's 300 bodyweight squats, 200 push-ups, 100 pull-ups, and then a mile run. And so I modified it a bit. I do like a 4-miler, and I do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, and then 100 reverse lunges. And then I'll do a second small workout later in the office, and then another third very small workout at night after dinner, just because I feel like I digest better if I do something after I eat. I got a 100-pound dumbbell sitting in the house that me and my son, we knock out some bent over rows with that at night, and it's a bitch. Never gets lighter.
I struggle with running a little bit. I mean, I run, but I'm 235 pounds, right? So I have, I'm limited to the distance. I do a lot of sprints. I do short distance. Like I can run like heavy pack outs.
Yeah.
Forget it. I'll go forever, man. I can't. I'll break before I stop. If you put 60 pounds on my back, I'll just be like this forever.
Yeah.
But if you ask me to go run, like, actually run like Cameron Haynes, if I get 10 miles out, I'm happy, man. That's about where I am.
No, I'm with you. I run slow, so it's probably very similar to what you're describing as a hike. Well, listen, you're awesome. How do people find you?
You check me out on Instagram. It's Man Eats Wild TV. I've also got a show. I'm on my 4th season, in the middle of a pretty big deal with a huge network, which I can't really talk about right now, but you'll see me probably February next year on a major network. But I'm on the Outdoor Channel on Amazon Prime. I'm on Apple TV. You'll find me. Man Eats Wild.
I love it. Thanks for coming out.